Welcome back, 8th graders, to today's Explainer. We're diving right into something super important today: how science basically shapes our entire world. Now, look, when you hear the word science, it's kind of easy to just picture a massive, heavy textbook full of dry facts you gotta memorize for some test, right? Well, let's just toss that idea right out the window. Because science, it's a living, breathing, incredibly powerful force. Every single discovery creates this massive ripple effect. It shapes your daily life, your health, how you text your friends, and literally the way you think. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with how science shapes our world. Then we'll look at past discoveries and their lasting impacts. After that, we'll check out current research and future solutions. We'll do a quick test your knowledge, and finally, we'll wrap up with education with biblical morality. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Science Shapes Our World. To really wrap our heads around the big idea today, we need a solid anchor. Isaiah 46:9 gives us exactly that. Remember the former things, those of long ago. I am God, and there is no other. This is so absolutely foundational, you guys. If we want to understand the crazy scientific realities of our present, and especially if we want to predict where the future is heading, we have got to look back at the history of how we got here. History isn't just a bunch of boring dates. It's literally the map to our present. So why does the history of science actually matter to you right now? Well, just pull the smartphone out of your pocket. Think about the vaccines keeping us healthy, or the cars and planes getting us around. None of that just magically happened overnight. By understanding the history behind it all, you start to see exactly how the research happening today is actively building tomorrow's reality. And this is huge, because it highlights exactly why public trust in science, careful ethical choices, and financial funding are so critical. It takes a whole society working together to make these breakthroughs happen safely. Which brings us right to Section 2, Past Discoveries, Lasting Impacts. Let's look at how this builds over time. Think of it as a giant ripple effect. A single drop of research from way back in the past can create these massive waves that change society forever. For example, early researchers laid the foundation with basic electricity. They were honestly just trying to figure out sparks and currents. But that basic foundational research, it directly led to the first major innovations, like the light bulb, which completely revolutionized how humanity lived after the sun went down. And the ripples kept going. That exact same understanding of electricity literally paved the way to the computers and modern electronics that run our entire world right now. And what's really amazing is the direct human impact of these ripples. Take Jonas Salk's work on the polio vaccine back in the 1950s. At the time, polio was this terrifying reality. It was causing paralysis and heartbreak all over the world. But Salk's research totally transformed public health on a global scale. The result? We basically eradicated polio in many countries, literally saving millions of people from paralysis or death. Just think about that. One scientist's hard work in the past translates to millions of healthy lives right now. Here's another perfect example we can all relate to: the internet. Back in the late 20th century, scientists were just trying to figure out a way to make a few computer research networks talk to each other. It was super technical, behind-the-scenes stuff, but that single technological breakthrough completely reshaped nearly every single aspect of society. Today, it's the absolute center of modern communication, global business, and, as you're experiencing right now, your education. It completely changed how human beings connect with each other.
Okay, let's pivot to Section 3, Current Research, Future Solutions.
So the really crucial takeaway here is that history isn't just something stuck in the past. It's happening right this second. The scientific breakthroughs taking place today are actively building your future. When we talk about fields like genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, or renewable energy, we are not talking about some sci-fi movie. These are real, highly active fields of research. Right now, brilliant minds are using these exact tools to solve some of our biggest global problems and drastically improve our quality of life. And there's a pretty clear, proven formula for all this progress. Societies that actually choose to invest in science see incredibly tangible results. When a society funds scientific innovation, you get robust economic growth, period. When they invest heavily in medical research, the obvious societal result is improved health for everyone. And pushing for technological advancement, that directly leads to expanded opportunities for citizens. Funding science is quite literally funding a better future for a society. Let's make this super concrete by looking at one of the most critical areas of current research out there: renewable energy. Scientists today are constantly pushing the boundaries of solar, wind, and battery tech. Why? Because the main goal is to reduce our massive global dependence on fossil fuels. This research is aimed squarely at slowing down climate change and creating sustainable power systems so that future generations, your generation, and the ones after you actually have a healthy planet to live on. That is the true power of current science. All right, time for Section 4, Test Your Knowledge. Let's see how well you've absorbed these huge concepts. I really want you to think about this question for a second. How exactly does a single scientific discovery create a ripple effect that ends up transforming a whole society? Think back to Jonas Salk in his lab or those early computer scientists. The work almost always starts small, maybe just figuring out a new basic rule of nature, but then it gets applied, it gets engineered, it gets scaled up, and suddenly it changes everything. So let's quickly run through the 5 homework questions you're going to tackle. Number 1, describe one past scientific discovery that changed society. You've got plenty of examples for that one now. Number 2, explain how renewable energy research might affect the future. 3, give an example of a modern technology that came from earlier scientific research. 4, why is it actually important to understand the history of science? And finally, number 5, explain one way science can influence the economy. Armed with that whole ripple effect concept, the medical and tech examples, and that investment connection we just talked about, you've got absolutely all the tools you need to crush these questions. And now we arrive at Section 5, Education with Biblical Morality. Listen, guys, I really need you to lean in for this one because it is absolutely the most crucial part of our entire explainer today. Just let this sink in for a moment. What is the actual point of being smart and supposedly highly educated if we just continue making bad choices that hurt ourselves and other people? We just spent this whole time talking about the immense, literally world-altering power of science. Science gives humanity the crazy ability to change the globe, cure diseases, build AI. But having all that raw intellectual power without a moral compass to guide it, that is incredibly dangerous. And honestly, that's exactly why the HeroesMart Academy Godly Learners series exists, and why it totally intertwines biblical morality with your education. The core philosophy here is simple, but it is profound. Education without morality will hurt. If you have all the scientific knowledge in the world, but you lack the ethics, the empathy, and the moral grounding to use it for good, that knowledge just becomes a weapon instead of a tool. Handling the incredible power of science responsibly absolutely demands a strong, unshakable spiritual foundation. Romans 8:6-7 promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. That's a beautiful promise, and it's the true experience of people who deeply engage with this content. As you keep learning and as you grow into the scientists, leaders, and citizens of tomorrow, keep your mind spiritual. Let your faith guide your facts. Because honestly, a really sharp mind grounded in deep spiritual peace is exactly what this world needs right now. So what kind of positive ripple effect are you going to create with your education? Think about that, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.